there are certain sounds, that just happen in English and not in Chinese, and it's just so hard to get them to pronounce the difference.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I noticed that with Vietnamese people. They can they do the start of the words okay usually, but hitting the ending is like really.
yeah, well, I was thinking because Chinese has L's, but a word never ends in an L, and so maybe that's why, because she can't. It's very hard to hear a Chinese person distinguish between dole and door.
Yeah, yeah,
It comes out as door, like it just.
yeah. They're rolling, just doing different things with the tongue, and like,
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just sort of because you get into the technicalities of like you've just got to put the tongue in a certain position but stop the airflow. It's not about sort of any movement. It's just like that's where the word stops. Like you just say dol, and you just have to have your tongue in the right position when you stop.
yeah, like with in Spanish, and I guess it's the same in Portuguese. It's spelt more phonetically. So in English,
Yeah.
you don't really realize it, but it is a bit awkward to have like an ed at the end of like a past tense verb, but it's always more like a t sound. So they'll say looked.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, my friend always, well, she often makes an extra syllable out of the ed, which occasionally you do, but normally you don't. Like you just say looked. You don't say looked.
yeah, there's plenty of examples, but
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure like my Chinese is just as bad. Although I think like with Chinese, it's just the tones. Like there's not many. I can pronounce the sounds easily enough. It's just sort of getting the flow nice
yeah, well,
and getting the tones.
looked like I couldn't do the Spanish pronunciation, but the thing is, I can do this pronunciation. It's just remembering all the syllables if it's a really long word. Like she told me that this one internationalization, and I kept like
Yeah.
forgetting like what order it was, internationalization or something. So it sounds like you can't pronounce it, but it's actually you can't remember it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting that too now. I'm doing this Sanskrit course online, and yeah, like we're learning the script as well. So I'm reading it in a different characters, and so you sort of spell it out syllable by syllable. But then when you finished, you don't remember what the start of the word was, so it's hard to say it all quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, that shows just how much stuff is muscle memory. Because when you're actually doing it well, you're not actually even thinking about it. Really, it's just sort of like
Yeah, yeah, and
flow.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does slow you down, especially when there's like variations in like what in English would be the same letter, but is slightly different. Two slightly different versions of it becomes two different letters in Sanskrit. Like there's a sh and there's sh. Like just slight difference in the sh sound,
Yeah,
which we would write in English the same, but there's two different sounds in Sanskrit.
yeah. There's some funny sort of examples of people messing up words in English and saying like a swear word, like focus can sound like fuckus, or
Yeah, fox.
sheet could be sounding like shit, or
Yeah.
and there's times where sh and ch are sort of mixed up.
Yeah, I was just hearing yesterday someone said that in Spanish the e and the e like it's would be the same sound in Spanish. It's the
Yeah,
exact example he used.
yeah. There's so much inflection and stress in like the syllables in English that if you just got to get that right, and it makes it so much easier to understand. Like
Yeah,
some languages have just like a monotone sort of way of going about it, but you know,
yeah, it doesn't have a pitch accent
yeah.
or a stress accent, I should say.
Um,
Um,
yeah, I was just listening to Sam Harris and Neil deGrasse Tyson, um,
yeah,
and he was making the point that it's crazy that we could, or just as an exercise, he tried to wrap his head around the fact that if there were UFOs and it was sort of like not possible to debunk it, how amazing that would be, but how strange it would, but it wouldn't actually change his day to day life that much. Um,
yeah, weird.
yeah,
I'm getting a lot more about UFOs in my timeline recently.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm still sort of not very. I mean, I don't know. I'm just waiting to see what happens.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of like what Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying. It's like, this too many people who, I mean, would you really just all of a sudden trust the government to start telling you the truth about stuff? You know, I think it would be more that they try to use that to deflect. I'm not surprised at all that, you know, there wouldn't be something like this, because eventually they need to come up with something new to get away with whatever else they want to do.
That's the other thing I was thinking, that the Trump era has made me so much more cynical about the media. Oh, like, and just like, yeah, you just don't trust anything. And yeah, it's like, why is this being released now? Like, someone had to make that decision. Like, so what's the yeah, like,
me,
it's just it's distraction.
Yeah, and it's
like someone has to say, okay, I want them talking about this new topic now. So like, you know, so they're not talking about something else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and as Sam said, you know, there's been, since, you know, mobile phones and you can have a lot more eyewitness accounts recorded, there's been so few or fewer people coming out and saying they were abducted by aliens and stuff like that. It's like, you know, sort of demand a bit more proof. But yeah, if someone likes to say, oh, it's irrefutable because I've seen it this many times, it's like, well, maybe you've seen it, but unless you can, like, you know, we can test something in a lab, or, you know, then it's sort of, yeah, it requires, what is it? The extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence or something? And
Yeah. Said by Carl Sagan, which Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about yesterday.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, even if it was pretty clear that they were UFOs, I mean, yeah, an unidentified flying object in the sky with technology, that's great, but are we able to communicate it with it? Can it communicate with us? We might end up just going down this track of spending billions of dollars in something that, you know, I don't know, maybe there's a good direction to go, but yeah, I sort of will just wait to see what happens. But yeah, Sam was
exactly. Waiting to hear.
Yeah. But Neil made the point that, you know, in many eras, we've had sort of like crazy stuff that has been, would blow our mind to find out that it's actually true. Like, you know, actually finding out the earth is round, you know, for example. But people's lives at that time didn't change that much. People still had to go and harvest the crops and, you know, do all of this and that. So we're still very much beholden to the powers that be, and I've been feeling that so much. I mean, I already knew that sort of like civilization was more precarious than what people think, because like you have a situation here where the power was supposed to be out for like 3 days, and say the storm was just a little bit worse and it's a week, and the flooding is just that little bit worse. You know, who knows how bad it can get, because it's going to rain all day today as well. But but you know, all of a sudden people start to panic because like the petrol station's out and the supermarket's not going, and people, you know, only go to that one place to get food, and if no trucks can come in or out and stuff like that, it's just kind of silly that we're so like detached from nature that we can't, you know, gather together and be able to support ourselves the way that we were evolved to live. But
yeah. Well, I got to get out of here. I'm getting claustrophobic.
All right, don't do that for too much longer. Don't get claustrophobic. I mean,
that's the idea. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, you need some fresh air. I need some fresh air as well. It's bloody foggy as all, but I just need to get out.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Thanks for
yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, bro.
Catch you later.
At any time.
You too.